our week on custom brushes in Photoshop. This tutorial is going to focus on our first project, which is going to be one where we capture a self-portrait and then we hide it only to reveal it using the custom brush which we are going to make. And the brush in question is going to be one that is actually shaped as your name. And this will make more sense as we get into this tutorial, but this is or should be a one class project at most, and so this tutorial will not be very long as the project itself is not very long. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take a portrait. You will need to take a new portrait. You can use our in-class cameras with any of the lenses available, or your cell phone if you have an iPhone with portrait mode or an Android with Pro mode. They work really well. But you're going to want to take a new portrait, and you're going to want to try to make sure that the lighting is nice. So you want to pay attention to your lighting. I would advise not doing it in the classroom or anywhere where the light is just not up to par. All right, for this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and use an image that I had. So I'm just going to go ahead and open it, but you would do the same thing. Once you have your photo, you would get it onto the computer, come to the file menu, click on open, and then go find your image. The one I want to use is this one of my daughter. We took it in a studio environment, so the lighting was really nice, and I just like the way it turned out. So we're going to go ahead and use it. The first thing you want to do, guys, is you want to convert your photo to a black and white image of your photo. You can do this in Lightroom if you want. For sake of time, I'm going to do it here in Photoshop. But before I convert to black and white, as always, you never want to work on your background layer. So I'm going to create a duplicate layer by clicking Command J, the keyboard shortcut. Or you can always right click on it and choose the option to create a duplicate layer here. But you want to get a duplicate layer and you want to work on your duplicate layer opposed to your background, just in case you make a mistake, you have something to fall back on. Okay. From here, I'm going to make that black and white adjustment layer. So I'm going to come up here to my adjustments tab. Click on it, find the black and white icon, which is this little half black and white square. Click it, and it converts it to black and white. You could play with it a little bit, like you want to make your skin a little bit brighter. Those are usually your red channels. Her eyes were blue, so I want to kind of bring the brightness of her eyes up. So I'm going to bring the blue up a little bit. There we go, and I like that. All right, so once you've converted your photo into black and white, you're going to want to crop it to a 1:1 square. Again, this can be done in Lightroom if you choose, or in Photoshop here, you would just come over here to your crop tool on the left-hand side in your toolbar. You would come up here to your options and you would find the 1:1 square option, and then you can size it from here if you want to. You can size it down if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and keep mine here and just kind of get it how I like it. Once I'm happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and click the check mark or press the return key on our keyboard and lock in that crop. All right, from here, we want to go ahead and probably create our brush. And so what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to open up and make a new document. So we're going to go ahead and click File and then New. We get our new document kind of listing here. We're going to want to go ahead and make sure that the measurement is set to pixels. And we're going to set our width to 600. So click on it, type in 600. Our height is going to be 300, half the amount. And we want to make sure that our resolution here is set to 300, which it probably already will be. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead and come in down here and hit Create. And you will see that you have a new kind of space. I'm going to convert mine to white, just because I think it'll be easier to see. Yours will probably already be white. I just had mine set a certain way that you won't have to worry about. From here, you're going to want to go ahead and choose the Type tool. So again, from the toolbar, grab your T for Type tool. And you're going to want to go ahead and once you have it, you're just going to go ahead and click onto your canvas. You may have to wait like mine for a second. It's thinking about what it wants to do. Hopefully it decides here, okay? Horizontal type tool is the one that is chosen by default. It's also the one that you want. And you're going to go ahead and click on your document and it will pull up the font. At this point, you're going to want to type on your name. My daughter's name is Harper, so I'm going to type in Harper, Harper. You can go ahead and click and highlight this, and then at this point, you can go ahead and play with your fonts. Take your time and choose a font that you like, okay? Fonts that are thicker don't always work very well, so these thinner kind of script fonts work nice, but something like this might not work well, or this definitely will not work well. So picking one that's a little bit thinner will allow you to have more control over your finished project. And for me, I think I like, no, it's kind of tough. I think I like this one. I'm going to go ahead and go with this one. At this point, I can go ahead and size it up here. Here's your sizing. You can click here and choose a pre-selected font size, or you can go ahead and hover over the T and scroll right or left to affect the size. I think I like this, so I'm going to go ahead and check it as okay. Grab my move tool, kind of center it back in the middle, and there we go. All right. Once you have yourself at this point, we're going to want to go ahead and name or define this brush. To do this, we want to come up here to the top to the edit menu here. Click on edit. We're going to come down to where it says define brush preset. Click on there and then give it a name. I suggest calling it your name. So in this case, I'm going to say Harper and press OK. And it is now added to your brushes, which is kind of nice. Okay, so as a reminder, we have gone ahead and brought our photo in. We have converted it to black and white. We have adjusted the size to a 1:1 crop. Those can be done in Photoshop, or they can be done in Lightroom before bringing it into Photoshop. But at this point, you should have this square black and white in Photoshop, and you should have your name brush defined and labeled. Okay, so here comes the fun part. So back here on your project, and I'm actually going to go ahead and just simplify mine. There we go. I flattened it, and then I just made a copy of that layer again. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a new layer. So again, you come down here to your layers panel, click the little plus icon next to the trash can, create a new layer. It will be transparent, so you want to make it white, and to do that, you can hold down the Option key and press delete with it. And if it turns it black like it did mine, then you want to press down the Command key and delete instead. So it's either Option delete or Command delete, depending on which color you get. And that is determined on over here. Since I had black on top, that's why I did black initially. But if it was flipped to white, then Option delete would have worked. But just for sake of efficiency, try either Option delete. And if that doesn't turn it white, then the alternative is Command delete. All right. But you want to get this new layer on top with a white, and then you want to add your layer mask. So down here, we add our layer mask. Make sure that it is also white, and this will allow us to grab our brush. So we're going to come here to our brushes, and you're going to want to click up here, and you're going to want to find your brush. Now, for most of you guys, we're going to be up here in our general brushes and our soft round, which we use all the time. But if you scroll down here, you'll see special effects brushes, and inside special effects brushes, you should find the brush that you just made. And so I'm going to go ahead and find Harper. Here we go. And then from here, you guys can start to brush on. You can adjust your size, as you know, up here if you wanted to. You're going to adjust your size. It is hard to control that way. So my advice is to use the bracket keys to size up or size down. And that is really nice. Okay. A couple of things that I want to point out, though, to make it easier for you. Right now at this point, we can just click on it and it will do single names, and we can do this and go. And it's just a lot of clicking because you're doing one name at a time, and it's a lot. And you can even like hold it down and do this to kind of reveal more. but it does kind of ruin the randomness effect. And so you really don't want to do this. So here, let me go ahead and delete my layer mask, and then I'll make it one more time. Instead, what you want to do is before you start brushing with your custom brush, you want to do some brush settings. And so in order to do brush settings, you're going to come over here to this side of the screen. You're going to find this little thing that says brushes or brush settings better. So you click on brush settings. And if you can't find brush settings, you can click on brushes, and then brush settings should be next to it. But we want to do a couple things. The first thing we want to do is we want to go into our spacing. So if we click on our brush tip settings here, there's a spacing at the bottom. If it's turned off, you can just turn it on, and then you can slide it up to kind of increase your spacing if you like. The more you go, the more spacing it gets. And this is purely preference. So I'm going to set mine to about 45 and leave it there. The next thing we want to do is we want to come into this area called Shape Dynamics. We're going to check it, and then we're going to click on the name to bring up all of the items that are contained within Dynamics. And we want to adjust what's called the size jitter and the angle jitter, okay? Jitter just, so size jitter, it varies the size between each of the incidents, and the incident is the brush stroke. So this is going to adjust the size of the brush that we're using, and it's going to kind of create more of a random look. That way you don't have to spend time sizing your brush up and down and all of that. Okay, it's going to give you a slightly bigger brush of your name, a slightly smaller, something in the middle. It's going to randomize it to give you more of a just varied look, which is what we're going for. The next thing that's going to help with that is called angle jitter. And angle jitter twists and turns each of your brush strokes. And so again, if we're going for randomness, it's going to kind of do that. You see at the bottom of this screen, it also kind of shows you a preview of what it does, right? So angle changes that angle down there. I'm talking about this area here. So you can kind of see what it does. I tend to kind of leave it kind of subtle. So I usually stay around 20, maybe less. And that is what I like. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to come in here to scattering. And with scattering, you want to make sure that, first of all, you have this little both axes box checked. So check it to turn it on. And then you can scatter it a little bit, kind of spread it around. And then what I like to do is I like to take my count, and I like to bring it up just a little bit. Okay, this will, so in this case, set to 3 here. Every time I click here and put Harper, it will put Harper 3 times. So it helps to fill it in, and you can always come back and like if you want to like start quickly, you can put it on like somewhere around 5, and then once you get a good amount brushed on, then you can go ahead and scale it back down to 1 or 2 or 2 or 3. But coming in here and taking some time to again affect the brush settings for the tip shape, the dynamics, and the scattering is going to really kind of speed up your project, but give it this unique kind of scattering that is hard to replicate on your own. Again, Photoshop does this very, very well, probably better than we are able to do it. So let's let Photoshop do what it does best. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and close that. We're going to bring our brush down, and we're going to go ahead and start brushing. So see, so I clicked once and it clicked 5 Harpers. And you see how the brush is changing its angle, right? So we're just doing this, kind of coming in, and we're just clicking, all right? I'm going to go ahead and change the size of it down a little bit because I wanted to kind of get some variety. So you guys can do that. Maybe I'll size up, do a couple of these bigger ones. And again, as you're clicking, you'll probably start to see your photo come back through. Because remember what we're doing with this layer mask. The white mask hides this photo, and we're revealing the photo. But we're revealing it in a unique way because we're using this very interesting brush. And so you're just going to kind of click around and start to click in where you know your portrait is, and you're going to start to reveal your portrait again, okay? And so we're just clicking. You can kind of see my daughter coming out here. Here are her eyes. So, and I'm going to go ahead and size down a little bit because I kind of want to work in this area here. And you just keep clicking. So it's not a challenging project. I think the difficulty is in the arranging of the brush and just kind of getting it to this point. But once you are here at this point, it's pretty straightforward. It's just about clicking. And if you don't like something, if you clicked here and you didn't like it, then using Command Z to go back a step will definitely be helpful. Brush size up a little bit. So we're just kind of filling it in. If you wanted to have more of a fullness to your face, you could again click in here and start to kind of drag around, and it'll kind of fill it in. Kind of nice. But how far you go is really up to you. You want to make sure that you're going far enough to where you have a clear picture of the person, but also not too far to where you lose this kind of interest and uniqueness around the outside bits and edges. And I'm going to kind of fill in this space over here. I'm going to go a little bit bigger and kind of do that real quick because I want to kind of have it darker on this side. And I might even kind of brush like that. It's cool. Nice. And there we go. We're getting towards the end here. I didn't like that brush. There we go. Go ahead and brush in more. She had really cool hair. It was really curly at this time of her life, and so I'm trying to find it again, but again, it's not showing up too much because it was really dark in the picture with the black and white, and so again, this is kind of what we get. All right, sizing down a little bit. I want to kind of fill in her cheek a little bit here. There we go. Define her chin a little bit, give her face just a little bit more shape, and then we'll just kind of throw out some things here. At this point, we are getting pretty much close to the end of this project, and so again, like I said, you want to have a fine balance between names and some of your person, but at this point, it's kind of you choose when you feel it is finished, and then obviously we just go ahead and save it as normal. So up to your file menu. For me, I'm going to go ahead and right click and choose flatten my image. I'm going to flatten it down to a single layer again. And then I'm going to go to File, Save As, wait for the dialog box to pop up, but we're going to go ahead and give it the file name that's being asked of you on the assignment. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and put my name and then example, just because that's what this is, and I'll include it on the assignment for you guys. We're going to go ahead and put it on the desktop. Save it as a JPEG, which it already is here for me. Save, and then OK. And that is it, guys. That is how we're going to go ahead and do our portrait project with our custom brush. And for this project, the custom brush we are creating is a brush of our name, and we're going to use it to brush back or re-reveal our portrait that we took. All right, I really hope you guys have a great time with this project and that you enjoy it. I can't wait to see your results, and this concludes the tutorial. Thank you so much.